Welcome to The Upside, hosted by myself. My name's Los, aka your friendly neighborhood Los, aka one day I'll give you my full government name, Los. And as always, I'm joined by.
You ain't even gonna get none of that from me. You won't even get a part of my government name. This is Bertram T. Jones.
He's gonna be known as a symbol, the artist formerly known as
Oh
Bertram.
yeah, I'll go further back. You can get just a hashtag soon. It's just that's gonna be my name.
And welcome to the Upside, the time traveler's guide to the present. And what that means is all
Mm.
this, and make no mistake, there's a lot going on in the world right now. And we take a look at all of that stuff, but we like to look at what positive change could come from some of the issues
We may
going on in
we may have spent the last hour complaining before we hit the record. We may have only complained the entire time Los and I
I
have put
might have
together
been in the
this damn
middle of
thing.
an epic rant. Um,
right,
before
right when Los hit the record button, he was launching into a
there
tirade
was smoke coming out of my earphones.
for
But
an hour. Los was on a tirade about also sports, politics, everything,
but now we're just trying to.
civics, government,
Yep. But now we're trying
community.
we're trying to put a smile on your face. So and give you hope and show
Yeah,
you that there's people doing stuff about, everything, every cause,
yeah.
um, and trying to find solutions to make our world a better place.
It's
So,
okay to be positive today.
yeah, Bertram, I have a question for you. And
Yes.
please give me the wrong answer because
Okay.
think about what we're talking about today. What
Okay.
was your favorite subject in school?
Mm.
Every kid's
Lunch.
favorite. Yeah. And what happened after
I
lunch?
gotta go at
Yeah.
lunch. Oh, recess.
Yes. 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 Who could forget recess?
You
That's
said
today's
give
up.
you the wrong answer.
Well, because I knew I was like,
Oh, you like math?
yeah, I was thinking you were gonna say math or history or something.
You
So
know, when I think about where I learned the most in elementary school, it was probably recess. Like those true life lessons
yeah,
that I carry with me.
yeah.
It's like, man, my favorite teacher growing up was Mrs. Johnston, but I don't remember any lessons that she gave me except for one social studies lesson about William Henry Harrison. I just remember what an awesome teacher she was. I don't
Oh,
know,
and
man, about any of the life lessons. What?
how much of an idiot William Henry Harrison was.
Oh man, what a dummy! What a dummy! Got made to look like a fool. Um, but I still remember a lot of life lessons from recess that I use today. Where I'm like, oh, don't do that. Remember when Juan Leon did that in fourth grade? Like, do not replicate Juan's mistake. I see you out there, Juan Leon.
Uh-oh. Um, yeah. So I'm just thinking about you at recess. Did you play it?
Oh
What'd
man,
you do
loved
with
wrestling.
recess?
Love
Okay.
love Foursquare.
Foursquare.
I
Yeah.
did get in trouble one time because we had like essentially a bunch of my friends started like play wrestling,
Uh-huh.
and it really looked like fighting because it's wrestling. You're supposed to make it look real, right? So like we're throwing each other around, and
Uh-huh.
we had so much fun that other kids were like, "I'm gonna come get in on this too," and then it ended up with like about 20 kids play fighting, pretending to wrestle and stuff. And eventually it got broken up because it's like, why are you all fighting? And the principal, Mr. Disney, came to the classroom to yell at us. And I was like, well, that's not fair that a bunch of dumb kids thought we were really fighting. Like this was fourth. This was like third grade, I think. And it's like, some kids came and were really fighting because they didn't know that it's a show. Wrestling's not is fixed, folks. It's been so for like 100 years.
Um, so yeah, that's where we are today. And well, you ever think like why we stopped having recess? Like what end?
Hmm.
Was it
Sixth grade.
middle school?
Yeah, sixth
Because
grade.
it
No
was
more
just
recess,
lunch,
man.
right? It's just lunch. Recess
Yeah, and
just turned
it was
into lunch.
Lunch used to be cool in elementary school. You used to
Yeah,
have fun,
yeah,
and because no one, everybody was your friend in
yeah.
elementary school. There was
It
no
was
cliques, right? We were all
egalitarian.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were all together. We were a tight unit. We were
yeah,
Miss Johnston's class,
yeah. Like
And then in sixth
you'll
grade, all of
be
us, yeah.
you might be the last person picked on the team, but you'll still be picked. Meanwhile, in high school, like no chance, you know?
Oh yeah, man. Oof. That's a brutal getting picked last, and that was a world ender. You couldn't survive that. You couldn't. You gotta go hit the showers. You get picked last in PE. That was brutal.
But yeah, it was very egalitarian. And it was nice. I loved elementary school. Did you go to multiple elementary schools?
Nah, man, just one
Oh,
Lincoln.
nice. Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
good place.
Yeah.
Still around.
Still around? Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, great
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. Mine was like 2 blocks from my house. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah, mine too, man.
Yeah. Just a bunch of
The
7 year
world the
old.
world became a dark place after I left that school, man. That's I went to George Rogers Clark for middle and high school. That place was barbaric.
Oh no.
Like they tore that place down. That place got torn down a few years ago because they were like, we had too many ghosts haunting those halls.
So what we're thinking here and what we're talking about is adult recess. Title of this episode, you
Mm,
clicked it already, so you know, but the power
yeah.
of play, adult recess and community games. So, Bertram,
So
is
what you're
that a real
saying is
thing?
it's no, I don't think so. But I think about that movie that we talk about all the time, Up in the Air, with George Clooney, where
Yeah.
he says to oh, why am I blanking on his name? We were just talking about him for about 20 minutes. J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, J.K. Simmons, when he says, "How much did they pay you to give up on your dreams?" And he's like, $38,000. You're like, dang, man. And I think similar to leads to us is like, when did they take away your recess, and did it become normal for you not to have
Yeah.
organized play during your life? And when were you planning on going back to that? When were you going to have some structured recess time?
Yeah.
So I think it exists now, but it has to be curated. Would you
Mm.
agree?
Well,
You got to find your own recess.
I would like it to exist first, and then I think I'd figure that out. But yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in.
Yeah,
So,
at work I don't even get a lunch break, so
oh man, that's true.
I just worked. I worked the whole time.
Yeah, what? Okay. You guys don't give lunch.
Can I give you a quote? Can I give you a
Please.
quote to
Please.
narrate this whole thing?
Okay.
Okay, so we want to organize. You already know that this episode's about adult recess, but we're gonna launch into this. We need some like background music during this time where I don't know.
I
It's
could
got
hear it now.
some
Dum, dum, dum,
yeah, man. I
dum,
think of
dum,
like
dum.
NPR and stuff like
Yeah.
that. As George Bernard Shaw says, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing.
Ain't that the
So
truth?
yeah, I think we
Ain't
need to
that
start
the
playing
truth?
again, Los.
Every time you like play like basketball or go working out, like go to a spin class, it makes you feel so rejuvenated. You're just you're just thinking, yeah, I mean, you're just thinking more clearly, more positive about the world. And but
Mm,
yeah, we don't play. We don't play. That's what I gotta say. Okay.
yeah, man, absolutely. Um, when I started doing research for this episode, it seems like the sticking point is a book by Stuart Brown called Play, and I included a link in the show notes to a TED talk that he gave. I don't know
Mhm.
if I put a link to the actual book itself, where he talked in this TED talk about how at Stanford he started a course. He was able to create a course from play to innovation is the name of the course, and it's all about investigating the human state of play, which is kind of like the polar bear husky state and its importance to creative thinking. He looked in the TED talk and talked about how all these different animals have different methods of play, and that we as animals are no different than all these other animals who I got 2 cats, man. They just sit
Yeah.
around and play the whole time, and you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot about them, and they learn a lot about the world through how they play. And I think that seems to be the crux of the book.
Yeah. That's a good point too. I have a German Shepherd here, Yuki. Shout outs to Yuki. Uh, yeah, he just turned 8, which is the equivalent of what, like 50 something years old as a dog.
Yeah,
And
right.
And oh yeah, he loves to play. He loves he likes he likes me like trying to get the ball out of his mouth, but then he'll be like, like trying to get away. He's silly. He's silly. Um, but yeah, animals play all the time. What happened with us? And I like speaking of, yes, Stuart Brown, you linked to the National Institute for Play, and on the about page
Yeah.
you see him swinging on a rope,
Yes.
having the
I love
most
that.
fun of his life,
Old
right?
man.
With a nice yellow sweater. Shout outs to
Remind me
yellow,
of
by
Mr.
the way.
Rogers.
Underrated color. But yeah. What were you saying about Stuart?
Oh, he just reminded me of Mr. Rogers.
Yeah. So
It was
is
nice.
yeah,
Uh,
his
um,
TED Talk.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, his TED Talk. But yeah. Um
One of the things he talked about was the flow state, which I think we've covered on this podcast. And
mhm.
I'm curious about what you thought about your recess. But it seemed like one of the things he was picking up on in the TED Talk was this idea of that playing games and recreation and recess helps lock you into more of the what we've been talking about as the flow state, the mental state of apparition in which the person is fully immersed in what he or she is doing, characterized by a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and success in the process of the activity. And when you and I were doing research as a flow state, I was kind of logged back to some of those early recess adventures, and I find it fascinating that I still seem to have a recollection of those recess activities because of how locked in you get, right? I still remember Foursquare. You get into this flow state where you just see everything and like time slows down. And so I thought it was really interesting that he picked up on this, seeing as, we just, came up with this one last week. I did not get a chance to pick up the book and read it. So I'm curious what more he dives into with flow states. Is that does that seem to be a big deal when we talk about adult recess? Is getting into a flow state with play?
Yeah, or even that permeating into your work, right? If you're taking
Mm,
recess in between, this the work day, then when you get back, like I had mentioned earlier, you feel invigorated, those endorphins, right? And so now that you're get
mm,
the chance to sit back down and do what you're supposed to do, you're just in this state of like the day probably goes by a bit quicker rather than if you were just sitting the entire day. So
yeah.
yeah, I definitely see the benefit there.
Mm. Should we talk about Marian Diamond?
Marian Diamond. Yeah, why not?
Yes. So, in my research from Stuart Brown led me to Marian Diamond. A really big deal. She passed away in 2017. She was one of the founders of modern neuroscience and was one of the first to show that the brain can change with experience and improve with enrichment. Apparently, which I had no idea about this, did we preserve Albert Einstein's brain?
That's always been a myth, but I don't know if there's truth to that.
Oh, okay. It says on Berkeley News that
Okay.
um, in 1984, she examined preserved slices of Einstein's brain, finding that he had more support cells in the brain than average. Is this crap? Is this made up, Los? Did I
I
get did I get
never
duped by Berkeley?
I never I never looked to confirm that, but you may be right. Albert Einstein
Okay,
brain.
if you want to confirm it, I we don't normally get duped on this, where our show
Yeah,
notes
our
are
research department's on
award-winning and
vacation,
legendary.
so
Man, if I got caught on this, I'm going to be humiliated. Her main claim to fame, she did in allegedly, apparently, she found that Einstein had more support cells in the brain than average, and in her work with rats, she showed that in an enriched environment, toys and companions changed the anatomy of the brain. The implication was that the brains of all animals, including humans, benefit from an enriched environment and that impoverished environments can lower the capacity to learn. Her research demonstrated the impact of enrichment on brain development, a simple but powerful new understanding that has literally changed the world from how we think about ourselves to how we raise our children. Um, what we now call the plasticity of the brain. In doing so, she shattered the old paradigm of understanding that the brain is static and unchangeable entity that simply degenerated as we age. I also have in the show notes the National Library of Medicine, an article written by Amanda Kettner, a study, Kelly Lambert, Anthony Hanan, and Tiffany Donaldson, where it looks like it talks about her findings from this study with the rats. And she noticed that it seems like rats with poor enrichment and put in these tough situations, their brains don't they don't build those strong structures like they would if they were given a lot of play and companionship and recess time. That through that recess, it sounds like those enrichment activities, the rats got a lot smarter and were able to build those things, which I always think about with zoos, right? In zoos, they always prioritize enrichment for the animals. They don't just sit there and let them, hey, just walk around every day. Like you're here to amuse the park guests. Like they always have to do enrichment with their animals.
My argument is they should let them free and abolish zoos. But anyway, positive news here. Positive news.
I guess, hey, yeah, positive news, man.
Uh, yeah. No,
You're
and
gonna get fired. This is the upside. This is not the downside. You go to the other side of town if you want to talk about the downside. All right.
um,
You get out of
no,
here.
on this topic, this also makes me think of like the idea of being like open-minded, right? Most of the people who are more open-minded are those who've had more experiences, seen other
Mm.
perspectives, and that forms this psychology of, okay, we could think this way rather than this very rigid world
Go to
view
diverse
or
restaurants. Don't just eat a
ideology.
hamburger with ketchup. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Maybe some Dijon mustard, put some,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, put some spices on there.
It's okay to eat, food that you don't normally eat.
Yeah, paneer, right? We talked about we talked about
Yeah,
paneer earlier. But
in
yeah,
our
it's like
hour of complaining.
in essence it's like shake things up, right? So, yeah, so that's basically what they were saying. Shake things up, it's good for you.
Yeah. One thing that I thought was interesting, and I put a link in from Wanderlust, but essentially was picked up on by, I think, the Marian Diamond study and Stuart Brown. I think Stuart Brown talked about it in his book, the 5 different types of play.
Oh,
One of the first examples is rough and tumble play, a great learning medium for all of us. Diving, batting, tug of war, capture the flag, scavenger hunts, kickball, dodgeball. There are always ways to play actively. According to Dr. Brown, through this form of play, we develop emotional regulation as well as cognitive, emotional, and physical mastery. Los, does that strike a nerve with you? I imagine you were a big rough and tumble player, were you?
um, I did play. Yeah, I did do a lot of that. We played football or like, oh, American football, by the way, for my international listeners, because I am with you on
Thank
the
you.
world football thing too. Oh, I always use. Speaking of that, I did play, yeah, soccer sometimes. I got my butt kicked. Like I was not any good. Anytime I tried to like mingle in that, like no, it didn't work. It didn't work out for me.
Mm,
But I always applauded the soccer players.
yeah. As you listen to this, and this doesn't just go for those, this goes for everybody. Think about which one did you do more than the others? Because as I looked through these, I was like, oh dang, I'm feeling like I'm calling myself out now
All right, so say it
because
again
I didn't play
for
kickball
the
nearly as much. So there's rough and tumble play,
yeah.
okay, dodgeball, kickball, scavenger hunts, capture the flag, stuff like that. Ritual play, chess. Board games, activities, or sports with set rules and structures that all fall into the world of ritual play. It is in ritual that we can create, strategize, design, and engage in activities that bring people together for a common purpose or goal.
Mm,
I just think that's interesting because, man, if I feel like if you only played kickball and dodgeball and then you try to sit down and play chess, oh, I don't like that. That's not for
yeah,
me. That's not my
yeah,
kind of game. And it's like,
yeah.
well, maybe you need to learn how to play all. You probably should get good at all of these, right? Which
Mhm.
I look back on that and I've had experience with all 5 of these. But I did one more than the others, which is the next one. Does one of those stick out for you yet, Los? Rough and tumble play or ritual play?
Oh, it was rough and tumble. I yeah, it was
Okay.
always sports in my my
Mm.
recess. I remember
Man.
recess was when I hit my first 3-pointer, fourth grade.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, they called me
Okay.
Los Curry.
They did not call you that. Steph Curry wasn't even alive yet. You're 70 years old, Los. Um, the third one, imaginative play. Remember when you were a child and had so much fun living out your fantasies and letting your imagination run wild? This is what imaginative play is all about. Coloring, storytelling, painting, drawing, crafting, acting, comedy, improv, all fosters our imagination through play. That was mine, Los. I just made up all sorts of crazy stories.
Oh man, were people sitting around you while you were telling your stories, or how did that work?
One 100%. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
I used to go. We only had one computer because I also am 70 years old, so
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
go sit in the back and I'd finish all my
Well,
work real
yeah,
quick. So
because
I'd go type stuff up.
the computer took up the whole room when we were kids.
Oh yeah, and it was a word processor that didn't save your work, so it's like, man, you can't start your next story. Hey man, you're gonna write your story, and then it's all gonna be gone the second you turn this off. Just so you know. And I was like, oh okay, cool. We couldn't. That save button didn't exist yet.
Your
I
favorite
wish we had
Christmas
a. I
present.
wish.
Your
I
favorite.
wish we had a floppy disk drive.
That's what I was about to say. Your favorite Christmas present was when you got a floppy disk.
Nah, brother, that wasn't invented yet. That was the no, or it was, but like the library computers had floppy disks, but this computer in our classroom, like, nah, brother,
Remember
that thing
those
couldn't do
like
much
those
anything.
flimsy discs? Like they were like bigger than the standard floppy
Oh
disk.
yeah,
Yeah. What
hmm
happened? What were those?
man.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
you're gonna get me off on a tangent. We're trying to get out of here, Los. We don't want to take an hour on this. Let's
Okay,
go start
so
talking
more
about
types of play.
all the toys that we had in my
We were
classroom.
talking about
Um,
imaginative play. You told stories.
yes,
Okay, so now
number
next one.
four is body play.
Oh,
Brown defines body play as a spontaneous desire to get ourselves out of gravity. How much fun is this form of play? Yoga, Pilates, hiking, whitewater rafting, Jesus for a kid, riding roller coasters, mountain climbing, surfing, snorkeling, they all fit the mold of body play. Man, for me, swimming. And to
mm,
this point, I still love body play if you're talking about swimming. I enjoy being in the water. It
mm,
feels really good. It's a form of play that I just really enjoy.
mm, nice.
Yeah. And then the last one, object play.
Whoa.
This form of play will really bring us back to our childhoods. It can encompass building with Legos, playing with Jenga blocks, building fortresses, can even have snowball fights, professional wrestlers, manipulation of objects, building and designing all fall into the object play category. And there's many other ways, but these are the basic five that are in there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Rough and tumble play, ritual play, imaginative play, body play, object play. Los, would you agree that you kind of need all five of those to have a solid childhood of learning? And we didn't even talk about math or science or anything like that.
Well, you need to play and you need to try all of these if you're a kid. Even if you don't like it, like that's what's beautiful about elementary school, middle school, where you're all taking the same subjects. And then it gets to high school, and then you have to like choose a couple electives. Like, you may have missed out. Yeah. I remember I never did. A lot of people now, if you know Los, you probably know me as a runner and I do all these things, right? In the running space. But like I missed out on trying cross country in high school. Like maybe that
Mm.
would have been cool. What if they would have made me do cross country? I could have liked it. And then who knows? I could have been in the Olympics or something. I don't know. But probably not.
Oh, dang.
But but
This is
yeah,
the
or
upside.
yeah, someone who just didn't have any idea of like drama and turns out they're probably one of the best actors ever. It's just unrealized. Um, yeah, so you should try everything, all types. Find your type. So if it's a rough and
Yeah.
tumble, what type of sports would you like? Is it like pickleball or do you like basketball or do you want to do just some quick high intensity stuff?
Yeah.
Ritual
And
play. Yeah.
what would also help you too, which we're not going to go into because we could. Well, I'll put a link in the show notes. But there's also play personalities of like which type of player are you?
Yeah.
For example, are you a collector? Are you a type of kid that likes to collect toy trains, coins, things like that? And then when you become an adult, you still take on some of those play like. I don't collect cards anymore, baseball
Yeah.
cards. Now I collect wine. You're
Mm.
like, okay,
Mm.
that's something that's interesting. So being mindful of what kind of kid recess personality do you have might be helpful to also understand what sort of adult recess would you like to have. Are you a competitor? Are you an artist? Are you a director, an explorer, things like that? So that would be a helpful thing to look into the show notes to understand like what kind of adult player would you be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like the
You're the
idea of
storyteller.
collecting cards. Yeah, collecting cards as a kid, then collecting wine as an adult. I'm like, that's kind of cute because there's definitely adults who play like, yeah, but Bonnie and I got a new wine today to try. It's like that sounds terrible. That's not fun at all.
Uh,
But yeah, check that out. It's in the show notes.
or are you a kinesthetic? Did you see that one?
That's probably that. Yeah, that's probably you. I
Person who
assume,
likes to
right?
move. No, I'm the
Oh
creator.
yeah, Los the creator.
Yeah, that's the creator. That's I guess that's my next name. I'll hop onto LegalZoom and change it after the show. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, final thoughts, Bertram?
on just that or the whole show.
Did you...
You trying to wrap us up? You trying to wrap me up?
Okay, but quick question though. Um,
Yeah.
when should adults have recess, right? You mentioned you don't have a
Oh
lunch
my gosh.
at work. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, when should adults have recess? When should they
That's a
play?
really good question.
I didn't mean for that to be a
I'm
zinger.
you got me. Uh, I think you have to have some sort of scheduled play, right? I mean, for me, I put into my to do list. I can play video games when all these things are done,
Mm.
and when I frame my day like that, it's super helpful to just say like I'm not going to tirelessly work, and because I find as an adult, you never run out of stuff to do. It's
Yeah.
something that always it befuddles me how great kids are at it. Is kids will have I work with high schoolers. Kids will have 30 things to do and they'll do 5 and they're like, "Okay, I'm done. I did all my stuff." I'm like, "What about the other 25?" And they're like, "Oh, I forgot about those." I just because they prioritize fun, right?
Mhm.
They prioritize recess and some of these growing things. So while they have 30 and they only do 5, they're like, "Well, now I got to go work on my fun stuff. I got to go do all those things." And as an adult, we will often make up more things because having a house and having kids and having a job and having to pay bills and having to there's always something going wrong in your life that you'll
Mhm.
never run out of stuff to do. You can neglect recess for the rest of your life, but being able to fit some of those in, I try and fit my recess in either in the morning on weekends or at in the evening on the weekday. How about you?
Uh, that's a good question. When do I need to
My
develop a
recess is also
yeah.
very seasonal. Like I
Mm,
go hiking and stuff during the spring and summer.
mm. Well,
I'm
yeah.
going
So
camping next week.
I need to figure that out. I need to figure out my recess, and I think that's maybe the message for everyone is that unlike in
Mm,
school where you have a scheduled slot for recess, the challenge of being an adult is always finding time for something. But when you're looking at stuff or when you're creating your schedule, just remember to make room for play somehow, some way.
yeah.
In any type of play, we mentioned rough and tumble, ritual, storytelling, or imaginative, they
Yeah.
call that body play, object play. Just play.
Well, and if you're trying to sell the why on this, there's a link in the show notes to why play should be a priority in every adult's life.
Yeah.
And it talks about there's a best selling book called The Top Five Regrets of the Dying. Have you heard about this?
No. Well, maybe.
It's about what dying people wish they had done differently. And here are the top 5 regrets. And you tell me how play factors in here. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. That's in
Mhm.
the top 5 of
Yes.
adult regrets.
Someone didn't play.
Yeah. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends.
Someone was playing alone.
I wish I had let myself be happier.
depriving yourself of play.
Mm. I wish I'd had the courage to express my true self.
You wanted to play but didn't play.
Oh, yeah. I wish I'd lived a true life to my dreams instead of doing what others expected of me.
You could have played and you knew you would have wanted to play, but you opted to do what others did and they didn't play themselves. So, in
And
essence, you played
yeah.
yourself.
That's brilliant. You're amazing, Los. You're the smartest man in the world. If you're interested in where this comes from, I have one last show note from the Washington Post. Peter Gray, a research professor of psychology at Boston College, says that play primarily evolved to teach children all kinds of skills, and its extension into adulthood may have helped to build cooperation and sharing among hunter gatherers beyond the level that would naturally exist in a dominant speaking species. In other words, for our earliest ancestors, play wasn't just about adding fun to their lives. It may have been a way of keeping the peace, which is critical for survival. It also talked about how that was probably how we attracted mates, right? Is that
Mm.
sense of humor came in first among males in a 250 person study looking for six to rate 16 characteristics for a long-term mate. Sense of humor came in first among males and second among females. Fun loving came in third for both, and being playful placed fourth for women and fifth for men. So being
Second,
play is about attracting mates as
second
well.
for women. I always feel like that's the first thing women say when they're looking at
Confidence.
what type
Confidence
of.
is always number one.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
Yeah.
I get that. It's like, oh yeah, they gotta be confident, but they also gotta be funny. I love to laugh. You always hear women saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I
I
was.
know it looks shocking, but this face actually got me married. Like this is not a great. Like just I'm funny.
It's
I'm
a great
funny and
face. It's a very
can.
underrated face.
Oh yeah, man.
But you were also
Looks like an
funny.
old catcher's mitt.
Silly. Okay,
Looks like an old catcher's mitt.
I just thought of something too. Okay,
Yeah.
remember detention. Ooh, detention. Detention
Ooh.
was like the worst thing ever. And it's like, but think about what detention was. Do you remember, Bertram?
The
Were you?
absence of play.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
absence of
No,
play.
no, I never. No, I never got.
Okay,
I never got detention.
you
I was
don't look
awesome.
like you got detention. I got detention. Um, it was
I
it's
got it once, but it didn't count.
it sucked. It sucked, and you know why it sucked? Because you were stuck inside, and you were just in some room somewhere,
Mm,
and that kind of sounds familiar to a lot of our lives right now. We're in detention all the time. And no one even told us we have to stay in detention. You could go out to play whenever you want to, but somehow we've ordered ourselves to stay in detention, eating at our desks.
yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, eat your cheese sandwich.
Go eat outside. Go
Mm.
go
Man,
play.
I used to work with this very old woman. Well, that's mean, an old woman. And she would go outside for lunch, and I'm like, you don't want to sit in the break room? She's like, no, I want to sit outside. And she would sit outside under a
That's
tree
wonderful.
and just stare up at the sky. And I'd be on my phone, just looking like this, and just eat my chili and stuff like that. And then I look out the window, and she was just no phone, just looking up at the birds and the trees and eating her cheese sandwich. And man, that person figured it out. She was
They
amazing.
figured it out. I will say, at one job I was at, I did like watching episodes of Seinfeld during my lunch. It
Mm.
made me so happy.
Oh yeah.
That show's so funny to this day.
Oh man.
Um, but yeah, go outside and play. Find some time to play. Unlike in childhood, recess doesn't have to be every day, but find a day to play. Ooh, look at that. Look what I did there.
Ooh, man, you're a poet.
So that's today's show, Bertram. Okay, I mean it this time, but any final thoughts?
Man, just me and you. Let's go play over in
Let's go
Berlin.
play. Let's go
Apparently,
to Europe. Well,
yeah. Let's go
okay.
to Europe, man.
Okay, so we're
Let's go
going to
play.
Europe. Everyone, please come along. Donate to
Yeah,
our
you're all
Patreon,
invited.
which doesn't exist yet. Um, this episode is brought to you by. Oh, we don't have a sponsor yet, so help us out. But no, but how you could help us out for real, for real. Thank you for listening. Spread the word, tell them about the Upsiders, share it, like it, give a review wherever you're listening to your podcast. And we'll see you again. And we'll see you not just on the other side, but the upside. On behalf of Bertram, I'm Los. Take it easy.